a shower in an airplane at 40,000 feet right now, and it just feels so surreal. I can't stop smiling. Good morning from Abu Dhabi. I've always wanted to fly the Etihad First Class Apartments, but after a missed upgrade a few years back, and then the A380s getting retired, I thought I'd never get a chance. But today, with the A380s back in service, I'm on my way to Zayed International Airport to fly the Etihad First Class Apartments. Let's go. I'm starting my day off in Abu Dhabi on my way to the brand new Terminal A. Etihad provides a complimentary chauffeur service in the UAE for those travelling in first class, although as I'm on a connection today, I took an Uber. There's a separate drive-in entrance for those travelling in business and first class, which takes you directly to the premium check-in counters. First class check-in is at the far right in this private area where the staff took care of all the formalities while I waited on one of the sofas. Going through the separate security lane led me into the main terminal area, which is so much nicer than the old Terminal 3. As nice as it was, I still followed the signs for the Etihad lounges and made my way towards the first class lounge entrance near gate C29. The lounge is up on the 6th floor inside the much larger business class lounge complex spanning 3 floors. Up here on the top floor, the business class roof lounge and Constellation bar is ahead, but I'll be turning right to enter the Etihad First Class Lounge. I'll do a full tour of this new lounge, but first I'm heading straight to the dining room for breakfast. The larger dining tables are separated by dividers and artwork, with the smaller tables lining the outside edge of the lounge. I sat down and the waiter handed me the a la carte breakfast menu before taking my order for food and drinks. Of course, I had to start this great day with some champagne. Cheers. And this was shortly followed by my choice of eggs royale. Now that I've got some energy, let's explore the lounge. Just before the dining room is this bright area called the parlour. Small sandwiches and pastries are available here for those wanting a quick bite, with soft drinks and coffee as well on the other side. In terms of seating, there's a variety of different options available spread throughout the lounge, from these chairs by the entrance, to partitioned off couple seating, to a larger family area with TV, and finally to my favourite area of the lounge at the very back. This is a cosy space with sofas and chairs in the middle, surrounded by private booths on either side. Solo seats can be found on one side, and the couple seating on the other. And some more chairs at the very end of the lounge for those that like looking at frosted glass. For me, I decided to get comfortable in one of these private booths until my flight was ready to board. The lounge here is super nice. There's barely anyone here. The staff's taking good care of me, making sure I'm staying topped up on champagne. So I'm going to chill here and do a bit of work until my flight's ready to board. There's a few more things to check out. The toilets are all individual in private rooms in this contemporary design and kept super clean, as are the shower rooms, which are accented with lighting and have a sink, toilet, and walk-in shower. The shower has both rainfall and handle options, but the amenities are unbranded, which is unusual for first class. Finally, for maximum privacy, you can book the private suites. These are available for an extra cost for first class passengers or complimentary if flying in the residence. The suites have a sofa and TV, a dining table where food can be served to you from the menu, and a private bathroom with a toilet and shower. One tip from me, there's a relaxation room right below in the business lounge on the 5th floor to avoid any extra costs. Right, it was time to make my way towards the A380 I'd be flying on today. Boarding's just been announced for my flight, and I've just found out you can actually board from the lounge. Let's check it out. My gate D43 was one of the 2 gates where you can board directly from the lounge. Both gates are at completely opposite ends of the long business class lounge on the 5th floor. My flight to London was ready, so these 2 double doors were opened at boarding time, where gate agents checked my boarding pass, and I made my way down the jet bridge, admiring the sheer scale of the A380 on the way. As I stepped on board, the cabin crew warmly greeted me and walked me to my seat, or apartment I should say. Today, I'm in apartment 4K.
This is amazing.
There's no better way to start than with a glass of champagne, which the crew offered me alongside a hot towel and a small bowl of dates. While I was enjoying my dates, I couldn't help but appreciate just how much privacy and space you get with this product. Which makes sense, since the first class cabin is arranged in a 1-1 configuration. Back in my seat, I was reading the first class menu to decide on my choices for today. And while looking, I was offered an Arabic coffee. I'm not usually a coffee drinker, but I'll give it a go for the occasion. It actually tasted pretty good, but I think I'll stick with champagne. The crew came back to take my order for food and drinks and asked when I'd like to eat, since first class passengers can eat at any time during the flight. With the pre-departure service out of the way, it was time to fasten my seatbelt as the aircraft pushed back and we made our way towards the runway and into the skies. After takeoff, the crew passed through with another glass of champagne and some light bites, olives, roasted vegetables, and mixed nuts. I snacked on these until my table was ready to be set for the meal service. The crew was very meticulous with how everything was placed, and I think the presentation looks really nice. What else was really nice was how they kept my champagne glass topped up throughout the service. To get things started, a first class staple, the signature caviar service. This is a cetra caviar served with all the traditional garnishes. I start off by opening the tin before stacking all the garnishes on a blini topped off with some caviar. I'm still not sure if I'm doing this properly, so let me know in the comments if there's a proper technique. For the appetizer, what else but the traditional Arabic meze. I used a similar technique to the caviar here, just stacking a bit of everything onto a pitta and into my mouth. After I was done with this course, the crew gave me a lemon sorbet palate cleanser. And with my palate suitably cleansed, my main course was served, a medium rare beef tenderloin with vegetables. I poured the veal jus over it before digging in. The steak was succulent and cooked how I requested, which always seems to be a bit hit and miss with steak in the sky, so thumbs up here. I followed this up with the cheese course. An assortment of cheeses were served alongside chutney, grapes, walnuts, and crackers. And the red wine came recommended by the crew. Finally, the dessert course. I opted for the chocolate fondant with ice cream and berries. This tasted great, as did the rest of the meal service, which had now concluded. Now, time to do something only possible on 2 airlines in the entire world. Have a shower. I asked the crew to prepare the shower room for me, which is at the front of the first class cabin. It's not super spacious inside compared to the Emirates shower rooms, but it's still a shower on a plane. Towels and Esper branded amenities are provided, and the 5 minutes of running water can be tracked by looking at the gauge on the handle. I hopped in and started my shower.
I'm having a shower in an airplane at 40,000 feet right now, and it just feels so surreal. I can't stop smiling.
After finishing up, I opened up the loungewear bag the crew handed me on boarding, which contained a set of slippers and the Etihad First Class pajamas, which I got changed into. I went back to my apartment, closed the doors, and just took a few minutes to appreciate the craziness of this flight. Let's do a quick apartment tour. The sofa/bed is ahead with the IFE screen above, the extra large seat itself. First class passengers get free unlimited Wi-Fi access throughout the flight, and the speeds were actually pretty decent. The IFE remote is by the seat, with the seat controls just below. The power socket is around the side, a storage drawer below, and a stocked mini fridge below that. There's small pop-out storage by the seat, and there's also a larger wardrobe by the apartment door. Right next to the seat, there's a vanity mirror, by far the biggest mirror setup I've seen on any plane seat. Inside is the Etihad First Class Amenity kit, which I'll check out later in the flight. For those that care about aesthetics, the left seats are beige, while the right side has darker brown. And for those traveling as a couple, the partition between rows 3 and 4 can be lowered to make a double bed. I remembered there was actually an onboard lounge between the first and business class cabins, so I went to hang out there for a bit. There's enough seating for 6 people, but this space wasn't quite as social as I'd experienced on the Emirates and Qatar onboard bars. Regardless, I had a quick sip of champagne and some snacks while the crew were busy making up the bed in my apartment. I returned to my apartment to find the lounger across from my seat had been transformed into a bed. The IFE screen even rotates 90 degrees so you can continue watching in bed. And there's even little touches like an additional IFE remote and lighting controls by the bed. I jumped into bed and got comfortable, and it was at this moment I really appreciated just how large this space was, lying in bed still with a large seat next to me. Anyway, it's been a long day of eating and drinking, so it's time for me to catch a few hours of sleep. Good night. I woke up having managed to sleep for a few hours, feeling fairly thirsty for some reason. I wonder why. A good thing there's a refrigerated minibar in my apartment, so I pushed it open and grabbed a bottle of water for some much needed hydration. I was chilling on my phone when the cabin crew noticed I was awake and asked if I wanted anything. Since I was working on my hydration, I asked for another glass of champagne, which came served with a small plate of crisps. Since I had so much space to work with, why not forward roll back to my seat to grab my laptop, because I had a tiny bit of work I wanted to finish up before landing. Before getting changed back into my clothes, let's have a quick look at the first class amenity kit. Etihad provides this white leather kit with 20th anniversary branding. It's the same bag you get in business class, but the contents are slightly different. Inside there's night balm, earplugs, a dental kit, an eye mask, socks, hand and body lotion, face mist, hand sanitizer gel, sanitizing wipes, lip balm, and pulse point oil. A pretty decent selection here, which I took with me to get changed back into my clothes. Back at the front of the cabin, I used the other toilet next to the shower room this time, which was a bit larger. Just like that, I was changed and returned to my apartment where my bed had been undone and a pre-landing hot towel was left by my seat along with a small box of Swiss chocolates. We had started our descent, so I freshened up with the towel, enjoyed the 2 chocolates, and finished up my champagne. Now that we're flying over London, it's a good time to talk about what I paid for this flight. Flying with Etihad in first class from Abu Dhabi to London would typically cost close to £5,000 or $6,000 one way. I didn't pay anything close to this. Instead, I started my journey in Bangkok, flying business class to Abu Dhabi and onwards to London in first class. Both legs costing me 88,000 Thai baht, which is around 2,000 British pounds or $2,500. Overall, I loved the Etihad First Class experience. It was great to be one of the first people in Terminal A and enjoy the new first class lounge. The flight itself was one of the best I've been on. The amount of space in the apartment is unreal. The 5-course meal service tasted great, and the friendly crew always made sure my champagne glass stayed topped up. The shower in the sky is probably one of the best aviation experiences you can have. I only wish the flight was a bit longer. Let me know in the comments if you think there's a better first class product out there, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Till next time.